like Prince, like he's like, I don't listen to music. If I want to hear a new song, I'll write a new song and fucking record it. Now I have a new song to listen to. Like, so we do this for us. Like, we're not doing this for anybody else.
So, and one of the, I think one of the songs I remember from the new album, it talks a little bit, or it gives that message that you guys are in it for the long haul, and you guys are still kind of, you know, doing that dream of creating your music and kind of still chasing it out there, and which is, I mean, it's something that not a lot of bands do that end up, you know, going the popular route or kind of, you know, bending to the popular trend. Um,
Talking about
how
the
do you do
ballad.
that after so
Yeah, where do I
many?
begin?
Yeah.
Yeah, where do I begin? How do you do that after, you know, so many years and I'm, you know, still fighting?
Yes.
Alcohol, yes. That's part of it.
It's certainly part of it. No, I mean, I think that, there's something to be said about if you just try to go out there, kind of like what Joseph was saying, we could write some stuff that could fit the current way of how music is kind of done. You could do the algorithm stuff. You can have a song be a certain amount of time. I've worked on situations too that I'm not happy about, where it's literally been like, what is the most popular song right now? Let's recreate it, and there's no soul in that, and I'd rather go pound nails for a living than fucking do that, because it's just lifeless. So we couldn't do that with Witherfall. I mean, we formed this whole band over a decade ago on the fact that we were going to do our own thing, like what we wanted to hear in music, what songs we wanted to write, no matter how ridiculous they might be. So we'll have a ballad that could have been a 3.5 minute long song, but let's take you to fucking down the rabbit hole on it because we want to, because that's just what we want to hear. And if you want to go down the rabbit hole, you can. If not, buy the ticket, take the ride. Um, I think that's just kind of, I mean, we could do it, we could play that whole game, but it wouldn't be fun. It would be exhausting. And then when shit doesn't work out well, you're just gonna be pissed off. And, it's difficult, but doing this route, but it's what our
Yeah.
whole game plan was. You can't don't change horses in the middle of the stream.
That deathbed thing, like no one's ever gonna go like you're dying of cancer. Hopefully you're like in your 80s. You're like laying there and you're like, God damn it, man. I'm so glad I wrote songs for the Spotify algorithm. Like,
Oh God. No, that just already makes me upset.
like I'm not gonna badmouth any particular band, but it's so blatantly obvious, like when a band is just like they picked a niche and then they're just like gonna hit that fucking button like every time. And I personally don't enjoy it. I know like a lot of people like they have a thing and they love that thing, and it doesn't matter how fake or contrived like the band or the music is that's doing that thing. They just like that thing exists. And like, it's like Star Wars parodies almost. It's like, if you're really into Star Wars, you're gonna like a Star Wars parody no matter how fucking stupid it is. It's not that
And
anybody out there is stupid.
no, but like there's no problem with that for the fan. I mean, if the people that are doing it enjoy, that's what their mission is to do
Yeah.
that, whatever that is, and that makes them happy. But if you're trying to do it for, I mean, we can't do that. We're too fucking honest. We'll just be like, this isn't us. This sounds like shit. And believe
Honest.
me, we've done it. We have Joseph probably has an entire fucking uh some sort of server filled up of ideas that we've gotten far on, and it's been like, this sucks. Fuck it. We're not feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine
I have a
it's got to
vast
be difficult to kind of, I mean, not difficult, but it's easy to kind of just stay within your comfort zone when you find something that works and it moves the algorithm and you kind of just get complacent and it doesn't feel like, especially with the new album Sounds of the Forgotten, it doesn't feel like you guys are getting complacent or you guys are just kind of sitting back and just doing the same thing again. Um the previous album that you guys had was a real. I mean, that was when I got to kind of meet you guys and what you guys were doing, and it was a real eye opener for me because it was something different. It was the crazy long songs. It wasn't Opeth, like the boring shit for 10 minutes. It was something different, but it was long songs that actually did contain a lot of different stuff within them. And you guys seem to be even pushing that a little further with this new album.
Yeah, I feel like we're stretching out more and more, honestly, with the writing. Like, because we got like the first record, like it was literally like the first 5 ideas that Jake and I had. Like, it was just like, okay, let's do that, and then we ran with it, and then Prelude, we were in the middle of all that crisis and shit with Adam, and it didn't. We were just trying to follow that star, right? And now it's like we're really comfortable writing, so like we can stretch out, and I mean, I don't even know how many genres are on this new record. The next song coming out is like a 70s R&B.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like you guys haven't even heard the new one coming out.
I don't even know what genre that is. It's like Zeppelin meets like the Isley Brothers. Like it's Steely Dan meets fucking like I don't even know. I don't even know how to classify it.
It's very strange. The new one coming out.
But I could see
what date is that?
goth girl with a diary, like listening to it, like like drawing pentagrams, like in blue ink in the fucking diary. Like it's just a weird conglomerate of music.
That's just because every single. But that's the thing is that I think with Witherfall, everybody like you. It's I think Zeus, our producer on this last record and engineer co-producer, I guess, he said that it's Witherfall. It's like a box of Cracker Jacks. You never know what you're gonna get, which basically is right. We one thing to me that going back that I've always liked and try to do is that when you put on a record, not every song sounds the same. It's not going to be like, who would want to listen to 45 minutes of the same song, like the same structures and like I always wanted to take you on a journey and I mean, for example, we had probably about a 5-hour conversation on the layout of the vinyl, like basically like how each song's going to be, the track listing.
Yeah.
Because we want people to experience all of our records as you used to, which is you start from track 1 and you end the last track. Maybe a little hidden piece on the end.
Maybe.
Do you write for the sides of the vinyl, like side A, side B? Is it like
exactly
kind of a separate feeling? Okay.
Oh yeah. We had our buddy Don, who's he's the guy that shoots a lot of our kind of like film stuff with us, and he's been with the band for a while, and he's a huge vinyl nerd, and he took what I had and completely flipped it all around, and I was like, all right, Don, you win. This is the best way to do it because it's the whole aspect of physically flipping the vinyl and how each song's gonna blend into each other.
It's a very 80s program, this new vinyl, the way that it runs together, like the way the ballad comes in is just, it blew my mind the first time he suggested it, because we weren't sure, because like a lot of times like you're tempted to just go bam 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 in the first 3 songs, but this shit, like, it had an emotional impact the way that it's sequenced. It was really cool.
And I guess sometimes it takes somebody to look from the outside a little bit to kind of catch that, since you guys are kind of like way in there and you have one kind of vision to this is the way it should be. And then you have somebody looking from the outside who actually already knows you guys, who can actually say, no, you know what? Let's switch it up this way or that way. And
the problem is that none of the people we hang around with say no. Like, we always joke about this. It's like, like a lot of friend groups, like you'll have 2 guys like me and Jake, like that are like out of control. And then there's like some moderating force. We don't have any moderating forces in our fucking friend group. It's like if someone gets added, it makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. Because we're in it from, I don't, I wake up thinking about Witherfall on some end, and I go to bed thinking about it. So it's nice to have someone that's from an outside, because you can get so into the weeds. And I get, especially with the song stuff. It's like, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like after we get done with the record, like I don't even want to. I can't listen to it because you're looking at every. I mean, fucking you. Once you get done with hearing the mixes, and you're back into watching videos, of doing relearning the songs for shows or all that stuff, and you're just like, okay, so it's kind of nice. It was randomly the other day, something just popped. A Witherfall song popped up. I forgot about it, and I was like, "This is a pretty cool tune." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's a Witherfall song from like Nocturne's era." And I was like, "That's what I want to hear." I wish if there was one superpower as a musician, would be like to be able to listen to your songs as a new listener. Because when you're creating it, it's you're also so into it, you can't really have those fresh ears and
Yeah.
make those right decisions. So.
First thing I do after like a mix is agreed on is take a week off and then get some mushrooms and go somewhere with headphones.
That's a good
Like,
idea, actually.
Yeah.
it's the best fucking thing in the world. Like I've been doing it for a long time. Like I love that. Like it's almost because like psychedelics kind of give you that like infantile like first experience thing, no matter like where you are, what you're doing. It's like why people are like petting like the wall. They're like, oh, like I've never felt anything like this before. It does the same thing with music. Like it makes it like brand new.
All right, just kind of off camera, we took a little break here. Do you guys want to talk a little bit that you've also been writing stuff for beyond this album?
Yeah. I mean, we're always writing. Like in the like going back to the business side of this thing, we're really picky on what tours we take. And you know, so part of our strategy is that we're just going to constantly release record after record, kind of like the Kiss model. I mean, COVID kind of fucked us among other insurrection type related things. But yeah, I mean, like, I think Jake will probably agree with this. Like, the best part of it is the writing and releasing music and seeing what how people react to it.
Yeah, I mean it's why we do all this, like we were talking about the daily stuff where you wake up thinking like, oh shit, what's gonna go on here, and then going to bed with the same thought. It's the writing. Writing is the best part of it all, and writing and getting the record out. That's why we started doing this. It's not for really anything else. Like if you started doing this for another reason, I think that those seams will become, they will be slowly stripped away, and people will be able to see that too and be like. So I mean, I can't remember if we were talking about it before we did like a little intermission, but we started this with just kind of we wanted to write songs that we wanted to write and run a band that how we wanted to do it, and it's been a little bit of it's definitely been a fucking journey. 10 years now, and it's it's like the Lord of the Rings shit where it's you meet different hobbits along the way that might help you out or might try to cook you.
Yeah,
it's an interesting ride.
There's definitely been characters that have come in and out of the fold that were on different sides of that dividing line between good and evil, for sure. So
let's talk about some of these characters. No, not really. But
for all of but to your question though, yes, we are. We're actually meeting up in a few days from now to commence. It's a little inside joke there on the writing of the new record.
Jesus, there's one that that what left us.
What's that? Oh yeah, yeah.
There's one character that's not in the movie anymore.
Yeah, that's an Adam Sagan joke right there. God,
Yeah.
I can remember receiving that. That was during the Nocturnes days. Holy fuck, man. It's been a ride. But yeah, we've starting work on that. I think we were just on B-roll there. A little bit laughing about the different names that we have for our demos, you know, that we're gonna be exchanging here. So always writing.
Yeah.
Jake and Joseph, you guys, do you guys really seem to enjoy like working together, like creating? I mean, that's the kind of the gist I get.
Yeah, too
Like,
much.
as a team.
Sometimes I'm like, Jake, I'm coming over and I'm not drinking this for this whole week. and then once in a while it sticks. Once in a while it sticks. But sometimes like the second day in, it's like we're at dinner and I'm like, oh Lord, all right, here we go. And then it's like 7 a.m. we're smoking cigars and we're on our like 10th bottle of wine. That's actually
my favorite thing is because you know, we started this shit when we were younger. And we do it, but now we're like, okay, we're gonna start writing at 10 a.m. You know, and we're gonna handle this properly, and then you know that happens it doesn't even happen. It's like we end up seeing each other, and one bottle of wine comes out, and then by the end of it, it's 6, and it's fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. We're like, all right, yeah, I'll see you at 10 p.m. We'll start writing then. I mean,
Gets the creative juices started.
I'm here in my apartment right now in LA, and we wrote a lot of the record in Florida at my place, but here this one has we had some chick that got really pissed off at us. God, that was during Curse of Autumn, I think. Came up. And
the neighbor.
Fucking, oh yeah, that night.
I remember she came to the door.
I mean, dude, we could have a fucking entire podcast just on the writing sessions, dude. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have too much fun together when we do it, and it's fun too because we'll do it, and then we'll I mean, we write a bunch of shit. Usually the first or few days, because then the last day we're pretty hungover, and we're like, yeah, we did well because you get so much out, and then
yeah,
it's almost like kind of like doing a hardcore drug. Is that like afterwards you feel depleted, you know? So the last day we're like, okay, well, we're done with that, and then we come back, and then we'll like send each other ideas and or Joseph will be like, hey, look, like here's a vocal melody for that one idea you did at 7 o'clock in the morning on Ambien, and it turns into
you don't remember.
Where do I begin? You know?
Oh, dude, the best part, she had some magic. Like Insidious was one take. Like,
oh yeah, that was
that
awesome.
song is me just hitting record and going, hey, like just play something, and like he did the whole arrangement like 4 minutes in, like one take, like off the cuff, and I just took it and like wrote the song around it. And then like, where do I begin? He didn't even fucking remember like that we worked on it. And so I had to actually show him the thing when we were recording it.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's the guitar part. No, it's like this. Like you weren't even coherent when that was going on.
Right. Yeah.
Like it was still his fingers on the fretboard, but
totally
like,
pulled a Rosie O'Donnell.
Like,
yeah, I mean, we were working on like stuff, it's like the 9-chord type stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. So like we sit there,
and it's like, I mean, when you look at that though, that's pretty. You're just kind of just moving around drunk, So it's a 9-chord. But like when we did Insidious, that was so I had a guitar. So when I got the Demons and Wizards gig, I was, for some reason, a bunch of these people knew I played Jackson 7-string V's. And a lot of people at that time were trying to sell Jackson 7-string V's. And so I just bought all of them. And I had one of them that was it's a really cool guitar. It's it's almost like a Curse of Autumn color. It's like a kind of like a tobacco burst on a V. And the entire time we were doing these fucking sessions for it, it had EMG pickups and they were all fucking up, and the guitar had to have a lot of work on it. But I grabbed it when Joseph said, dude, just fucking think about this and record something. And the guitar managed the entire way through that 4 minutes, but it was like a manage of picking up like a guitar, that guitar, and Insidious came out. I mean, almost to a T, exactly how it is on the record. I mean,
no, it's so, listen, like the best part about that is that it was like 4 a.m. It was the last thing we did that night. Like then we went downstairs and drank and smoked cigars for 3 hours and figured out the album title. But like I had a click going, but this is like drunken, just improving. So when it came time to do the final demos for Marco, I had to create a click that would work. But I loved the feel of what he had played so much. I literally had to go in and like I used I automated the clicks slowing down and coming back in to match what he was playing. So it's not like just like here's 144 beats per minute, like 8 notes. It's literally the click is just matching what he's doing. So it's all over the place. If you listen to Insidious, it floats. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's one of the songs, and I mean, I think it was the first song you guys put out, the first video you guys put out, if I'm not mistaken. And it is one of those songs that just goes up, down, sideways, back and forth, and it is one of those that you mentioned Marco Miniman. He actually recorded the drums on this album, but you guys have Chris Saganeas doing drums for you guys now. He's as permanent member, and Jerry Hirschfield, who's doing I guess the keyboards. And you guys have some live gigs coming up. Just recently, a few days ago, you were announced for the Candelabrum Metal Fest down in Guanajuato, Mexico. It's one of the bigger festivals down there. How good does it feel to get back out there again to a major festival?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. I love your festival you had, but it's one of my worst experiences as personally. I won't.
I remember.
Yeah. So it feels really great. I mean, Witherfall's probably played more festivals than we've done, other shows, and the festivals are really cool because it's a way to get out there and to a lot of people that also don't even really know your band. They're kind of there to see some other headliners. So it's fantastic. I mean, it's a lot of work to do those shows. We're flying. We're flying to Mexico. We got to fly right back we got to go to Germany for a show right after that. So it's
wow.
it's an experience there.
Other shows too. Like we're nothing's announced yet, but we're going to another country, then going to Germany. So Mexico, somewhere else in Europe, then Germany, and then probably the Mental Institute.
Yeah.
What about maybe hit up the US a little bit?
What's that?
What about hit up the US a little bit?
It's not up to us. Everyone asks us, and it's like the promoters have to pay us. We're not free. We're not cheap. Like, we got Anthony Crawford, who's fucking his meal budget alone would bankrupt most bands.
His dildo allowance.
Yeah, no, we don't touch the dildo budget.
The baggage, the fucking the luggage fees.
Oversized latex dildos are heavy, especially the big black dildos. Like I think they weigh more than the white ones.
Yeah, I mean it's we have a group of and fuck it. I mean, I'll just say it. We Joseph and I are the only ones. We pay our guys that are in this band. So, because to execute the music that we're trying to do and perform on stage, it's like you can't just really get a guy from Guitar Center, you know, that's like, hey, yeah, I want to be in a band.
Or a guy named Black Dynamite. You can't just get that guy. Like you have to have.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, geez,
you have to have professionals.
yeah. I knew I was going to drink a lot for this interview. So it's like it's a lot of work to get Witherfall to do, you know, some live stuff, and so we need those shows to, but we tell all of our fans, look, like, tell your local promoters you want them to, you want us to come there, and you know, those local promoters reach out to our agent, who is Stefan, and he hears it and he gets it. You know, it's but you know, we can't just go out and play a coffee shop. You know, it's just, it's not gonna be right for anybody.
You can't put this group of hooligans in a van because none of us would make it out alive. Like it needs to be
No,
like a legit, you know.
it would reek of different stuff that I only want to talk about.
Now, being as you guys, I mean, I saw Jake twice in 2019 with Demons and Wizards at Metal Days in Wacken, and then
Oh, you were at the
Joseph with-
shows.
yeah, I was at the both of those, and then Joseph with Sanctuary before. So you guys have had that experience with the bigger bands and doing the bigger tours. So I would imagine you guys already have an idea of what you want a Witherfall to kind of evolve to as far as that aspect goes. So I mean that you do have to take that into account when you're taking offers for shows, that you do already know what to expect, and there's
Yes.
a certain level of professionalism that you have to encounter.
Which I absolutely commend you on, because your festival that you had was fantastic. I know we just talked about that on the recent Witherfall one a couple weeks ago, but that was treated like demons, and like when I was with Demons and Wizards and all that stuff. I couldn't believe it. I also wanted to hang myself in my hotel room, but I didn't want to give you that hotel bill, because
I went out there.
imagine finding a carcass would
Yeah,
maybe.
corpse removal is expensive in Mexico.
Yes, exactly. But I was, I mean, that was incredible. That was how, I mean, I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but I think it's how a band should be treated if they're like that. That's how it was in Demons and Wizards. Demons and Wizards was also a very big. I'm also naive, man. I never really listened to Demons and Wizards until I had to start learning the songs. You know, I didn't realize how big they were. But obviously, I mean, headlining Bakken, I was like, whoa, you guys know these songs, so okay. You know, very big, but also, you know, expensive shows, you know, from the back end, you know, and that shows. And then also we had a crew, I mean, we might have had 2 buses, you know, and a whole like semi truck carrying gear. So that, I know you guys know, if you guys put festivals on, how much that might cost. You know, it's very expensive. And for a band like Witherfall, you know, we want just a little taste of that, you know, a little taste of just, it's nice to be like, hey, you know, we have hotel rooms for you guys and someone to pick you up at a airport. Rather than us trying to figure out Uber and fit a whole bunch of gear into a goddamn Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
A show in front of 4 people.
You know, not for nothing. Like a lot of people think Jake and I are very stuck up, which is possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're drinking wine and talking about like Vakken and fucking 2 tour buses and a tractor trailer full of gear. But the thing is like it is a little bit that you know, we want to be treated a certain way, and you know, we know our worth. We know this band is what it's worth, and we're not gonna like show up like for any bullshit like offer, you know. Like this band is expensive, you know. Like Jake and I don't make any money. There's no money for us. It's expensive to bring these guys out and to, you know, to put on these shows. But also more importantly, I think, is that Jake and I also come from a place, and that was like the fires of hell that born Witherfall was like. We saw like what it's like when you don't do like things properly, and then you don't have your ducks in a row, and you know, like, so we just want to avoid all of that, really. Like, I don't think we can elaborate on where we were, but
yeah, it's besides the songs that we were talking about. Yeah, it was also a way of handling tours, but you know, money is a whole thing about that, and it's, you know, you can have people that say, oh, okay, I can do a tour this way, and then, you know, shit, man, I remember when Joseph in a band that I will remain nameless on, but how Joseph and I first met was, you know, the first night he was like, well, we don't get hotels, and it's like, no, dude, we're fucking sleeping at a parking lot in the van, and you got to shower at the Starbucks right before the venue. I mean, dude, we went through all that shit. And
yeah.
Dude, frankly, I'm not that old, but I'm too old for that shit anymore. It's also like, look, man, been there, done that. I've also seen the great things of having both sides, and I'm like, I know where Witherfall's at. We're not asking for too much. I think we're just asking for we got to have the band comfortable, and you know, that's it. Just to be able to have a good show like these.
Sure.
And hey, man, I give it to all those bands that are out there, but those guys, dude, those dudes are all in their 20s and shit in those vans. We fucking did it. Like, you know, guys slept for 30 days with a goddamn seatbelt in my goddamn rib right here for, oh my God, in blazing heat in the middle of fucking August in Tucson, Arizona. Done it, man. Done it.
You were doing that for like a year before I even joined that band.
A year before, yeah.
Like, I showed up at the last minute, and then of course, like, because I was like total hired gun. I was the only one in that band getting paid, and then everyone's mad at me.
Yeah. so like, if anybody ever gives a shit for like, you guys, you know, like, this is how it's done, I'm like, dude, I fucking know. I've done it. I've done it.
Right.
Like, it's not. It's like, if you don't, if you can't do it, then we're not going to do it. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah. And it doesn't really,
dude, I don't want to be homeless again. That's what felt like. Again, it was fun for the time, but you know,
yeah, it doesn't work either. Like, you know, unless you got like 5 guys that are all in the same like desperate early music career, financial situation, just hungry, like, you know, 5 musketeer fucking bullshit where everyone gets an equal piece of the steak. Yeah, you could do that, and maybe the lottery ticket pans out, but you know, like, we got guys that played with Justin Timberlake. Like, they're not gonna fucking go in a van and play for $50 a night, and you know, it's not gonna happen.
yeah. And Jerry played with what's
Nelson.
Willie Nelson. I mean, yeah,
Like, we've all paid our dues already. Like, this is done. So like, if you want with
so you pay him in weed.
Oh God, I don't think Jerry can.
Hey, you toured with Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Jerry's listening right now.
Hey, man, trust me, you want to not hanging out with Witherfall. We've already overtaken this conversation. I think we should move on to the next topic, because holy fuck, we've been talking about this same thing for we babble on.
This is the best part about Witherfall, is it's just a never-ending stream of madness.
It is. We probably got to do it in person again next time.
Yeah. And
Charlie, awesome, man. Yeah. I gotta rewatch that interview, man. Holy shit! It
was pretty wild.
You were loaded. You were wearing sunglasses the whole time. It was
yeah, he was like sitting there, like, just like answer questions like this. Yeah.
Hey, man, you know, I mean, it goes back to, I don't know if it was before the camera cut off, but it's those old school videos, man, that you watch. That shit was entertaining, man. It was like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and they were just like, they didn't, they didn't have anything that anybody was going to be like, oh, I got to
Yeah.
repost. I'm going to repost this because he said something dumb,
It felt like Cliff 'em all, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, well that's awesome, man. I mean,
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
That and a mix of Chris Holmes in the pool drinking himself to death.
yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But it was fucking fantastic.
All right. Well, I'm gonna check myself into rehab tomorrow.
Your interview,
Fuck
the
that.
interview at Charlie and Echo, that was like one of the like final straws where the label's like, guys, is this really how you want to market the band?
That's
like
fucking
Nate's
awesome, man.
walking around with a bottle of wine and no shirt, and Joseph's posting photos of fucking big titty chicks with the fucking Witherfall shirts, and like you guys are like fucking like 80s rock pirates. Like your audience is drinking beer and
Well, what's funny is I like during, so that was 2021, I think, was that. Yeah, that sounds about right when we did that interview. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So prior, I got in trouble with our label because I posted a video of me drinking. I was on a lake in Florida and drinking a bottle of Kim Crawford. The bottle, and I remember the label got really pissed at me for that. And a few days later, I heard from Kim Crawford that were like, "Can we use this photo of you for our Instagram?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, why not?"
Dude, marketing.
I was like, "Hey, you want to sponsor me? I've probably paid for your entire fucking office building with the."
Oh my god.
It's just weird, man. I mean, hey, it's like again, no hate to the label or anything like that. They're following the structure, that they foresee. But to me, a lot of that stuff is it might be a little too gridded, for me personally. Where it's like it's kind of fun to be a man. I watch interviews of bands from the '70s. I watch interviews, dude. Joseph and I, when we were working on Sounds of Forgotten, we were watching a video of Richie Blackmore destroying all of his amplifiers at the biggest festival in the US festival. Have you guys seen that video?
Yeah.
Where he just goes fucking nuts, and it's like, that is so unprofessional. But it's highly entertaining.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We're not lawyers. Like, you know what I mean? Like our job isn't to like go by the numbers and make sure everyone's safe and protected and isn't offended. Like our job is just to entertain people and be ridiculous. That's why, I love music and I love the art of music. And like, I always thought when I was like a teenager and composing that I'd be like some Mozart with my own fucking K number and all that shit. Like, but in the grand scheme of things, I love the ridiculousness of rock music. Like, I love it. Like, I'm like, how can I be a composer in that fucking paradigm, in that circus? You know what I mean? Like, I want to be the guy in the tuxedo in the middle of the circus watching all the freaks surrounding me. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll be a freak every once in a while, but like, I don't, God, like, if you're
it's rock and roll.
If you're in the music business and you're offended, then you're in the wrong business.
Well, I mean, what was the stuff that you guys really liked? I mean, what were some of your favorite interviews that you've ever watched? I mean, there's got to be some. I mean, you guys are doing this right now, so you obviously
that whole the decline of Western civilization was a classic. You watch the Pantera home videos where it's the first band that I really ever saw that was just like exposed to. They were just falling down drunk, puking all over themselves, and they didn't give a fuck. They sold it, and which was okay. This is more of they're human. They're just like everybody else.
Anything that goes off the rails is always good.
It's the best. I mean, to me, it's those interviews that are very like stoic and fake. They just seem stale.
Yeah.
It's like when
when people get out of their comfort zone. When people like just stop like thinking PR and just start like just just spewing out and talking, conversational. That's the best interviews, in my opinion.
That's why how the podcast became so big, is because that's exactly what it does. You know, you're not really, you're just kind of just like word of mouth. Speaking the Pantera thing, before I think of Witherfall, I always watch the one of Yngwie Refuses Donuts.
He doesn't dig donuts, man.
Doesn't eat donuts. He has 2 chicks with him too, and it's just fucking awesome. And he goes up into the hotel room.
Should have given the chicks the donuts.
That's good shit. That's fucking entertainment.
Yep, straight up classic entertainment. The album is called Sounds of the Forgotten, May 31st via Death Wave Records. Witherfall, always a fucking pleasure. Let's do this again soon. And for everyone out there, witherfall.com. The album's coming out on vinyl, CD,
digital.
Yeah, Are you guys doing the beer again? That was really good beer, the Black Lager.
I'm gonna go to the Decibel Fest. They sent me some passes, so yeah, we're gonna we'll find somebody.
Get it done.
Somebody,
it was great. Good beer.
You guys liked it?
Oh, I bought a 6-pack of that shit. It was delicious.
Dude, that beer was amazing.
It was good. High gravity, nice and fucking dark and
dark.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, it was good stuff.
High gravity and dark, like Witherfall.
Did you guys have any more questions, man? Or I feel like we kind of like overtook your.
No, I think we're good.
I think we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Brian, I'm Israel, and Jake, and Joseph. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Right on, man.